afternoon to you all. It's a great pleasure and a privilege for me to enjoy your company here in Berlin today and to do it alive and in good health. Yes, alive, despite the plot of the Iranian dictatorship that sent a hitman to kill me on the last 9th of November, 8 months ago now. A miracle happened. Your prayers were listened and I survived. Severely wounded, but fortunately I have recovered to continue the fight hand into hand. To continue the fight hand into hand with you to liberate Iran from its executioners until we bring full democracy, shining freedom, and human dignity to the Iranian people. It is time to break the chains that have oppressed Iran for 45 years and to build a new country, peaceful, prosperous, where men and women be equal, rule of law prevails, and warmongering comes to an end. Let us, our imagination fly, and our indomitable will be fortified with the vision of an Iran respected in the world, admired by other nations, and attractive for visitors and for investment. An Iran with a clean environment, decent jobs for everyone, and a blooming civil society. An Iran where no position is forbidden for women, with women judges, mayors of cities, ministers, and presidents of the Republic. Yes, presidents of the Republic. And if the president elected by the people is Mariam Rajavi, even better. This vision is what gives me strength to endure any suffering and the load of living under permanent protection, because I am now one more among the many thousands of Iranian freedom fighters that have resisted torture, prison, and even the loss of their most beloved ones. And that makes me to feel proud of being part, a tiny and humble part, but a very committed one, of an undertaking of such ambition, self-sacrifice, and courage. I have have a question. I have a question for the governments of Western democracies at both sides of the Atlantic. What else must happen for them to realize that appeasement, dialogue, negotiations, and concessions do not work when dealing with the mullahs? How many more people have they to kill? How many more wars have they to trigger? How many more terrorist actions against dissidents or supporters of the resistance have they to perpetrate of Iran for these politicians that are supposedly Democrats and committed to the defense of human rights be convinced that a firm action is needed, that the embassies of the regime in Paris, in London, in Rome, in Brussels, in Madrid, in Berlin, in Washington, and the rest of capitals of true democracies must be closed. All agents of this monstrosity called the Islamic Republic of Iran must be expelled, and that the fanatical and criminal regime of the mullahs must be isolated, rejected, and forced to fall. All the diplomatic efforts and the financial resources that the Western governments waste to try to no success to appease a bunch of malignant enemies should be used to help the struggle of the Iranian people against tyranny and to support the 10-point plan of Mariam Rajavi to give birth to a new Iran where men and women, old and young, whatever their beliefs, their political opinions, or their cultural identity, can live in harmony as free and equal as citizens and not as subject of a plague of corrupt and misogynistic clerics. When I decided in 2008 to go to Ashraf in Iraq, despite the dangers, I read Masoud Rajavi's writings and encountered thoughts and reflections that today's world needs. Thoughts that I regret have been overshadowed by the Iranian regime misinformation campaign and the West's weak policies. The dream of Iran's freedom is closer to reality today than ever. What happened yesterday in Iran sham elections, both the people's boycott and the unacceptable power struggle within the regime, alongside the remarkable and ongoing activities of the Mujahideen resistance units, has made this dream more achievable. I mentioned Masoud Rajavi, even though I have never seen him. He is very familiar to me, a true leader, a man who, by standing against the brutal onslaught of religious fundamentalism, changed the course of history and raised a generation that has not got tired of resistance for 45 years. Without him and his generation, we would be facing a medieval caliphate next door today. He rescued Islam from the clutches of the mullahs, and he must be thanked, as well as our extraordinary leader, Marian Rajavi, for that. Amen. Amen. I would have liked to meet in a liberated Tehran. I am now pleased to inform you that we will listen to excerpts from Masoud Rajavi's speeches, words that embody the essence of resistance and endurance and the grandeur of an Iran that has not succumbed to fear and terror, and that sooner than later will be free.